big and bloated to be effective.
Here to talk about it is our Fox panel, which includes, of course, Scott Martin from AstorLLC.com. We're bringing in Gary Kaltbaum from GaryK.com, Peter Schiff, author of Crash Proof, and once again, Yoron Brook from the Ayn Rand Institute. Peter, you just heard the Republican congressman saying our plan is better than the Democrats, Barney Frank saying our plan will work most. Which plan do you like?
Well, I don't like either of the plans. I mean, if you want to help home buyers, the best thing to do is let prices fall. Let real estate prices come down so housing is more affordable, so people don't have to borrow so much money to buy a home. What they're trying to do is artificially inflate home prices. If they're going to give people a tax credit, they're just going to force them to pay more money for their homes.
Gary Kaltbaum, we did have to remind our viewers this was the Republican. Republicans are usually the ones who have a reputation anyway of staying back and letting the market forces clear the inventory. In this case, it doesn't appear so.
Not these Republicans, my friend. Look, I'm going to agree with Peter. All this artificial help is only going to, stem the tide for the near term. If the market's going to want to go lower, it's going to go lower in spite of anything anybody does. I'm just amazed that when things were working well with market forces, hey, great, but when things didn't work well with market forces, let's socialize the losses and let government take care of everything. It is, for me, becoming insanity.
Yoron, one of the representative's proposals that he just talked about, a one-time tax credit for home buyers, and the credit would be of 10% of the home purchase price up to $10,000. Not a way to stimulate this situation?
Well, I just think politicians need to stop trying to stimulate us. I think all they do is you can
exactly
take that
what do you
want,
mean?
But yes. I mean, I think they need to leave the market alone. I agree with Gary and with Peter. Let the market work this out. Prices come down, people will buy homes. What they're doing is creating enormous uncertainty now. A lot of buyers are going to wait now. They're going to sit on the sidelines and see how Congress plays this out. If the president vetoes it, doesn't veto it. If there are buyers in the market, you wouldn't want to buy now. You want to see if you're going to get subsidized by the government. Let's wait a few months and let Congress sort this out. It's nuts.
By the way, we should mention, Scott Martin, this is just crossing the wire right now. Consumer borrowing actually rose in March at the fastest pace in 4 months, more than double the increase of the previous month. Again, to the notion that, hey, the market has a way of clearing itself out.
Although it's all on credit cards. Strong borrowing on credit cards.
It is on credit cards, which I think you're going to see become of the stimulus checks, right, that people get.
Right.
It's debt service, right? I mean, what does this stimulus check do for one's mortgage? Pay half of it for a month? I mean, again, and prices, again, are going to keep falling. They're going to have to.
And if we're going to clear out the inventory, we have to make sure that the people in the houses can stay in the houses. If they can't afford it long term, maybe you give them a 2-month or 3-month or even a 1-year reprieve.
It could be the same person 6 months down the road. Exactly. It could be the same person 6 months down the road. Let's also think about, what about the input costs for these new homes? These builders are facing all kinds of crazy costs now for building new homes, which makes them even more difficult.
We don't need to build any homes.
And by the way, they still are. I mean, you see building permits. I mean, there still are a lot of problems with building new homes as far as costs.
Go ahead, Gary.
If you keep bailing out people that maybe had bad behavior, you are inviting more bad behavior. If you're going to say, I'm going to let the mortgage principal come down, what's not to let everybody who's been paying stop paying because they can go to the banks, hey, lower my mortgage principal also.
And by
it just
the way,
makes absolutely no sense.
Buried deep in these proposals is this one. Improve regulation, Peter Schiff, of government enterprises like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Federal Home Loan. Improve it. I mean, you got to scrap it.
Yeah, well, of course they're doing the opposite, though. They're leashing, they're lightening up on the leash. They're letting them be more reckless. So, the problem with a lot of this credit card borrowing, people are borrowing money now because they're deeply in debt. They can't pay it back. None of these people are going to be able to pay back this credit card debt. And then they're going to talk about a bailout for people who are overexposed on their credit cards.
Speaking of overspending, a cash infusion of millions to keep Hillary Clinton's campaign alive.
Hillary Clinton doubles up in her bid for the Democratic nomination. Money in politics next.